So in today's class, we'll be talking about fundamental analysis. So basically, what is fundamentals? Fundamental analysis. It's very simple, right? Let me open investing.com so that when time comes, we'll get there. So fundamental analysis is the process of breaking down the impact of political, economic, and social factors on the relative value of financial instruments. Fundamental analysis is the impact of political, economic, and social factors on the relative value of financial instruments. For example, if you go to your chart, market participants can identify the primary drivers of a currency pair, okay, using microeconomic or political implications of an economy. Now, after doing that, they can now go to their chart to trade. All right. So now when we talk about fundamental analysis, after we finish with the definition of fundamental analysis, let's talk about the impact of fundamental analysis or fundamental analysis, the components of fundamental analysis. What is fundamental analysis made of? Now, I'm hearing pum pum pum. What is fundamental analysis made of, right? Fundamental analysis is made up of government and politics. Government and politics. Fundamental analysis is made up of government and politics. Just right. Components of fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is made up of government and politics. My voice is echoing with someone's stuff. Please, can you mute yourself? Can you mute yourself? All right. So fundamental analysis is made up of government and politics, microeconomics, macroeconomics, environmental conditions. Then we have market sentiment, demand, and supply. So when we come to fundamental analysis, macro and microeconomic factor affect fundamental analysis, right? Um, Environmental conditions, government and political factors affect fundamental analysis. And all this leads to market sentiment. Now, when it now leads to market sentiment, it will now affect the demand or the supply or the demand and supply of a particular instrument. Okay, so market sentiment is as a direct result of micro and macroeconomic factors as well as government and political factors. Most times on the chart, price moves as a result of demand and supply. It's not even most time, all the time on the chart. Price moves as a result of demand and supply caused by market sentiment, right? But then we now also have fundamental analysis that is a direct result of micro and macroeconomic factor as well as government and political factors in the market. Now, how do you analyze fundamentals? First of all, let's take a look at the list of fundamental news that comes out. We have interest rate, list of fundamental news. We have interest rate. We have gross domestic product, which is called GDP, gross domestic product. We have consumer price index, which is CPI, right? We have unemployment slash employment rate. These are types of fundamental analysis. Unemployment slash employment rate. We have product price index. We have product price index, right? We have product price index. We have retail sales and so on and so forth. We have retail sales and so on and so forth. Let's take a look at Forex Factory. Forex Factory is also going to give us more fundamental analysis news that we can put into consideration or type of Yeah, type of fundamental analysis news. Should I call it fundamental analysis news or type of news that come out? Yes, let's say type of news that come out for the economic calendar, right? So let me come here and go to my calendar. I believe everyone can see my screen, right? So you can see here we have bank holiday. We have bank holiday. This is unemployment rate. We have retail sales. I've mentioned retail sales, right? We have FOMC member Schmidt that is going to speak. There is also German factory orders. There is trade balance. There is IVPMI. These are all the fundamental news. There are plenty. So if you want to check your fundamental news, you need to come and check your Forex Factory. If you go to Forex Factory, you check your economic calendar. The same thing with investing.com. Investing.com has its own economic calendar, right? Now, how do you analyze fundamentals? After you've known interest rate, you know PPI, you know CPI, you know gross domestic product, which is GDP, you know unemployment claims, retail sales, and so on and so forth. There are plenty out there, right? Now, this news that we listed out, depending on the impact it has in the market, it affects market volatility. Now, when it affects market volatility, it affects currency markets. Sometimes it also affects commodity markets. Sometimes it also affects stock market. But majorly, it affects currency market. Now, if it affects currency market, if it is good, if the economy of that country is strong, it means that more investments are going to be made into that economy, and it will even make the currency stronger. Do you understand? If the market volatility, the currency market, everything is good, it means that economy is strong. Now, people will put in more money, invest more in that economy. And if people invest more in that economy, the currency of that particular economy will be very strong. However, if this news come out and they did not do well, and the volatility of the market is not too good, and the currency market is not doing so well, it shows that that economy most likely will show a weaker signal, right? Outflow of investment. Example of a weaker economy is Nigeria. I don't even want to start counting how many countries that have packed their wahala and left Nigeria. Microsoft, I heard GSK. They left this country. Why? Because our economy is weak. And they carried their company to other countries, other African countries. I think Microsoft left Nigeria to, is it Kenya or Ghana? One of them, right? To places where things work. It is an inflow of investment for those countries that Microsoft moved in, but it is an outflow of investment for Nigeria. And if it is an outflow of investment for Nigeria, what do we see? We see a weaker naira. That is exactly what is happening. We see a weaker naira, a weaker currency. All right. So when conducting fundamental analysis in the market, have number one, an economic calendar. Have it number one at your beck and call. An economic calendar example is your Forex Factory calendar. Okay? It lists the indicators, the news, the time when they are due. Then keep an eye on the future. Also, market will move in anticipation of that certain indicator or report due to be released on your economic calendar. So if PPI is going to come out, you will notice that this market will start moving in anticipation for PPY. And which market is that is going to move? Any market paid against JPY, which means USD JPY, you're going to see a movement. AUD JPY, you will see movement. GBP JPY, you will see movement, because the particular instrument that these things are coming out for is JPY. Do you understand? The same thing with unemployment claims, right? The same thing with unemployment claims. Then the next one is strong and weak economies. Now we have sustainable development required that across generations there should be no decline in the possibility of total capital to generate flow of service. We have weak economy. How do they know weak economy? Weak economy has marginalized orientation. They import labor, they import goods and services, they borrow a lot of money, they cut back on spending. Corporate social responsibility, it shows a weak or bad economy. For a strong economy, what do we see? We see mainstream orientation. They produce labor, they produce goods and services, they lend money. Countries that their economy is good, they lend money instead of borrowing. They spend more money. They fund business practices. All right. And you realize that their currency is high. Now, let's talk about key economic indicators, key economic indices that can affect price positively or negatively. And they are categorized into growth, we have inflation, we have central bank, we have employment rate. If you check your news here, right, we have central bank, Bank of Japan governor will speak. Okay, RBNZ rate statement. This is central bank this thing. Okay, official cash rate, still central bank, right? Let's look for um let's look for what's the name now? Let's look for growth. Growth, we have to see here, we see trade balance. Trade balance shows growth, right? In the economy. Trade balance shows growth in the economy. Then we have employment. Employment, let's look for unemployment claims. Look at unemployment rates, right? Now let me give you news. Under growth, under growth, we have GDP, gross the domestic product, GDP. Under growth, we have retail sales. So which means this news that is coming out for Euro, that came out for Euro by 10 a.m. on Monday, right? Retail retail sales month to month. This news is used to measure the growth of economy. Let's check here and see if I'm correct. The change in the total value of inflation adjustable sales at the retail level. It is used to measure the growth of economy. It is the primary gauge of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of overall economic activity. Overall economic activity, that is what this particular news accounts for. So whenever you see retail sales month on month, you will now know that okay, it is growth that they are talking about. If you see GDP, you will now know okay, it is gross domestic product that they are talking about. Do you understand? Another key economic this thing indices under growth is manufacturing production. Anything that has to do with manufacturing, right? It is under growth. Then another one is durable goods orders. Durable goods orders, it is under the growth of an economy. Another one is trade balance. Trade balance is under the growth of an economy. The another one is current account. Current account is under the growth of an economy. All right. Now, under central bank, what news do we have? Anything that has to do with monetary policy, meeting, conference, speech. The governor, Jerome Powell is going to speak. This one is going to speak. They are going to read a minute of a meeting. They are going to speak on monetary policy. All those are under central bank. Another one that is under central bank is interest rate releases. All these ones they keep saying, oh, we are going to increase our interest rate by 4 basis points, by 25 basis points, by 50 basis points. All of them are under central bank. Do you understand? Then we have inflation. Inflation, the indices that are being used to measure inflation in economy. Consumer price index. Consumer price index, number one. Number two, producer price index. Producer price index. Producer price index is used to measure the inflation level of an economy, to measure if that economy is undergoing inflation or not. Then we have average hourly earnings. Average hourly earnings. All these are being used to measure if an economy is undergoing inflation. Then the one they now use to measure the amount of people that are employed in the economy. We have non-farm employment change, which we also call non-farm payroll. That's the one that was supposed to come out last week, Friday. And the smart man called Trump did what? He shut down his government. He shut down the economy. And that news did not come out. Do you understand? Then we have earnings or job opening. The amount of earnings, the amount people earn, and how many jobs that are open to people in that country is also being used to measure employment. Then there is employment change. Employment change. There is also unemployment rate. All these things are what they use to measure if the employment of people in the economy is good. How, if people are employed, how are they doing? How many jobs are open? How many people are earning money? How many people are unemployed? How many people are employed? How many people are employed aside the non-farming sector? That's what it means. All these things are data that they use to gauge how their economy is doing. Do you understand? And where do you see it? It is all on Forex Factory. If you take your time and go through this Forex Factory down, there is no way you're not going to see FOMC member Logan speak. Where does this news fall under? Central Bank. FOMC member Kashkari speaks. Where does this news come down to? Central Bank. MI inflation expectation. Where does it come out? Central Bank. German trade balance. Where is it under? Growth. German trade balance is under growth. Okay. Now we have Fed Chairman Powell speak. Where it is it under? Central Bank. Unemployment claims. Where is it under? Employment. It's very simple. If we keep going down, if we keep going down and down, you keep seeing PPI. Where is PPI under? Inflation. Employment change. Where is it coming out? Or is under employment. Unemployment rate under unemployment, and so on and so forth. CPI, all of them, all this news. How do you know? You just click on this and you read. You click on this, you read. You click on that envelope and it opens it up for you. You click on PPI. What does it tell you? Consumer price index, corporate price index. It is a leading indicator of consumer inflation. When corporations raises the prices of their goods, the higher costs are usually passed on to the consumers. Do you understand? How is it measured? Released monthly about 12 days after the month end. Change in the price of goods sold by corporations. So if I own a product and I review my prices and increase it, that is what PPI measures. That is what PPI measures. And if the actual is greater than forecast, it is good for the currency. And that's why, as a trader, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is not to go to your chart to go and check anything. You don't have any business going to that chart to check anything. You go and check your economic calendar. Check all the news that is coming out. Digest it. You know how you sit down and eat, drink water and balance and allow yourself to balance so that the food you ate will work. That's how you're going to eat. Eat this news. Digest it. Understand it. Balance and allow it to digest before you go to your chart. Before you now decide if you're going to do a buy or a sell. If there is a news that is going to come out in future, you will take note of that news. Do you understand? Now, let's go to key political indicators when it comes to, but before I go to key political indicators, right, you have to check your economic factors weekly, monthly. You have to check the weekly report, you have to check monthly report, you have to check daily reports. You have to note the previous reports. You have to note the forecast report. You have to note the actual report. Look at it here. Okay? You have to note previous report, the forecast report, and you're going to note the actual report. Take a look at this. Here we have previous, forecast, actual. The previous was 0.4 minus 0.3, but the actual came out 0.4. This one, the previous was 2.9, the forecast was 2.9, but the actual was 3.0. Here it was 9 minus 9.2 minus 7.5, and here it is minus 5.4. All right, which means it is good. Here, all the data are almost the same. All the data are almost the same. Even the way this thing moves shows you something in the market. Okay, here the previous is 1.4, the forecast is 1.4, but the actual this thing that came out, actual data that came out 2.3%. All right, analyze their effect on currency, commodity, indices. You have to analyze their effect. And how to analyze the effect is just to open it and say, what does it do? Now it says actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So which means this household spending year on year that came out, it came out good because this is the actual figure. The actual figure is 2.3%, and it came out better for what they forecasted here, and is even better than what they got in the previous. And if the usual effect is telling us that actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Let me use a very weird example. If you bought your first car at Toyota Picanto, right? You bought your first car, Toyota Picanto or Kia Picanto. Toyota does not have Picanto. Kia Picanto. Then that's the previous car you bought. Then you now forecasted that God will give you money. You're going to buy Toyota Corolla SE. You're going to buy Toyota Corolla SE. That's the next car you're forecasting to buy. Apparently, something now happened. Guy, you don't come buy Toyota Corolla SE. You now bought Benz 2014 model, which is better than what you forecasted, and even way better than what you previously bought in your fleet of cars. It shows that you have money. That sees you driving Benz will be like, guy, this one whole bar, this one whole bar. That's how it is for this news. When they come out good for the currencies, it shows that that currency is doing well. Everywhere gallant, everywhere soft. Enjoy yourself. That's what it's showing, right? So it means that when you go to your chart, you most likely will be seeing that currency gaining strength, pushing up, because everywhere gallant wetin dey happen for the economy no dey reach inside. That's just how it is when it comes to these stuffs, right? So you analyze their effect on currency, analyze their effect on commodity, and analyze their effect on indices. You now use that analysis you made to decide if you should trade or not. You now use that analysis you made to decide if you should trade or not. I think in the morning, I gave USD a sell, a buy limit, a buy stop. I said buy from so place to so place. If you took that trade or buy stop on USD that trade, like, I can't believe that it did not hit take profit, but it's like an inch away from take profit. And you took that, if you took that trade, congratulations to you because obviously you must have made money. Let me try to share my screen with you so that you will see it. Let me try to share my screen so that everybody can see it. Give me a second. I'm going to share my screen with another. Why am I hearing my voice? Okay, I'm going to share my screen with another laptop, right? This one is muted. So look at, I said that once this market crosses this line, where is that my mouse? Give me a second. In the morning, I said that for USD the moment it crosses this line and continues upwards, I'm going to take my profit here. You can see here that it's just a very tiny stuff remaining for you to hit take profit. So if you took profit here, you should be in profit, massive profit. And remember, hi, why are they hear myself? Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yes. Mm.
Okay, so now I was saying that, right? We are entering a buy stop here, and this is take profit. And remember, in as much as we enter the buy stop here, and this is take profit, this is also our um this is also our sell limit prices. We enter the sell limit here. There is also another sell limit here. This second one obviously did not trigger, but this one triggered. I can remember saying that I was going to wait to see what is it will do. That if it crosses above here, I am jumping in for the buy. And for the people that took this trade, congratulations to them. I don't know if everybody took it. Then for okay, for GBP USD is currently in profit. This I'm very sure of, because I was like enter a buy limit at price 1.34109, and also another buy limit at price 1.34175, and it's currently in profit because price have moved above this, even though this thing tried to like come down and stress us, right? But at the end of the day, this particular trade is still in profit. And I always say something: if you have good amount of money in your trading account, you don't have to open small lot size. Just manage your risks properly and make sure you open good lot size and make your money, and you're out of the market, right? Thank you. Yeah. So let's check Euro USD, right? Let's check Euro USD. Euro USD came down, right? It has hit our first buy entry, but it's currently on a drawdown. It is currently on a drawdown. But I most likely will be seeing this thing going up. I'm just envisaging for another because I get two buy entries. This is the first buy and this is the second buy. It has triggered the first one. I'm still expecting it to go up even further. I'm still expecting it to go up because we have a support at this level. Until you break this support, then I'll now know that okay, this one is no longer interested, that he wants to come and start selling. All right. So I just decided to pause and check our trades and check out what our trades are doing. Okay. Yeah, I just decided to pause to check what the trades that we entered in the morning are doing. And if you were with us in the morning, you will agree with me that we did proper analysis in the morning before we entered any of these trades. We did both fundamentals and technicals before we entered any of these trades. So let's move over to what we were discussing in class. All right, let's move over. We were talking about fundamental news. Today we are going to take advantage of learning fundamentals. When we are done, and everybody get assignment too, you will go and do assignment and submit to me. I will see our assignment before we take our next class. All right, so let me stop sharing here and let me go over to this place. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Where do I want to go? I'm using this one to do recording. I want to mute myself. Why am I hearing myself? Let me. Oh, just give me a second. Let me get out of this class. All right. So now that was it for what I wanted to show everybody in class, right? Then look at our calendar. This is our economic calendar. Okay, this is our economic calendar. First assignment, go to your economic calendar. We have different news. I said that under growth, we have GDP, we have retail sales, we have manufacturing production, we have durable goods orders, we have trade balance, we have current accounts, we have under inflation, we have consumer price index, we have producer price index, we have average hourly earnings. Under central bank, we have monetary policies, we have meetings, we have conferences, we have interest rate releases. Under employment, we have non-farm payroll, um, earnings and job opening, employment change and unemployment. Our first assignment, when you go to your calendar, what I want you to do is find news under growth, find news under inflation. Tell me past news, or not current news that is going to come. Go to past news, right? Tell me what their actual data came out as. Tell me what their forecasted data is. Tell me what their previous data was all about. Tell me the time it came out. Tell me the day it came out, and tell me how it affects that particular currency. And tell me what currency did it come out of. It's very, very simple. To be very honest, the answer of this assignment is looking at you right now, but I'm not sure you know that the answer is looking at you. So go to your Forex Factory, go to previous news. You can check 16th of August, 30th of August, 31st of August. Find the actual data that came out, get the forecasted data, get the previous data, check the time it came out, check the date it came out, check the impact it have in the market. Is it high impact? Is it low impact? Is it medium impact? And what currency did it come out for? That is your assignment. And I need 20 of it from everyone in this class. 20. It's not going to take you anything. 20 is very easy to find out. 20 of it from everyone in this class. That's the first assignment. All right. Then we are now going to check out key political indices that affect the market. Politics affect this market. Conflict affect this market. Wars affect this market. Government's way of running the world affect this market. These events directly affect the price movement of the chart. I said it before, just like when we were in this in class, I talked about the Ukrainian war, I talked about Israeli war and all that. All those things affect the markets very, very well. Mr. Philip is in UK, yeah, right? I know that there was a time, if you can attest to this, there was a time the euro fell, like it was falling massively as of 2022, 2023. Euro was just falling, it was on a free fall. And what was causing that fall? One thing, the Russian and the Ukrainian war. That was the only thing. All the sanction that Russia was gathering from all parts of the world was what was making euro fall at that point, you know. And if you go to your wheat chart, agro commodity, you will notice that wheat was going up because the demand for wheat was high, but the supply was slow because there is war in the highest producers of wheat or highest suppliers of wheat to the world, which is Ukraine. At some point, they were like, okay, they're going to try to make a move. Who is this? Ah, it's not Chukwebuka or something. I think it's Israel. So at some point they were saying that that they are going to try to open a section of their this thing of their sea so that the ship can move wheat to other parts of the world. At some point I was reading the news, then I saw where they were saying that in USA that baby food is now scarce because No wheat to make baby food. Wheat, what did they use make baby food, is now scarce. And they were thinking of producing what we call genetically modified wheat in the lab so that they can use it to feed babies. If you're a science student, you will understand what we mean by genetically modified wheat. Do you understand? It's not the natural wheat that you know. It is still wheat, though, but they have modified one or two things. Maybe if wheat is going to take 30 days to grow, because it's now genetically modified, what will happen? It will now take 1 week to grow. And the growth will even be bigger and better than the one that takes 30 days, the natural wheat. Do you understand? So all these things are things that affect the country, the economy of a country. If the likes of a president, let's say Tinubu now, comes out and says something concerning Naira, and that thing is good for Naira, trust me, you will see Naira going up. You will see investors coming to Nigeria to invest because they now know that, okay, this economy will do well. But if he also wakes up in the morning and he's not in the mood and he says something that will affect the naira negatively, once he makes that statement, it will definitely affect naira negatively. All right. So what do you watch out for? You watch out for key political events. Watch out for election periods, election results, peace or conflict afterwards. Then when it comes to conflict, you think of major countries like war, you think of sanction. You use this analysis to decide if you're going to trade or not. All right. You use this analysis to decide if you're going to trade or not. Now, some of this news I'm talking about, where do you get them? You go to your mainstream channels like your CNN, you go to Bloomberg, you go to Al Jazeera, you go to Arise TV, you find a lot of this news there. Where do you check for your economic calendar and all this news that you're seeing? Forexfactory.com, investing.com, oilprice.com, routers.com, myfsbook.com, and so on and so forth. These are the places you can go to find this news and take advantage of what is happening in these particular sectors. All right. So this will bring us to the end of today's class, right? This is going to bring us to the end of the day's class, right? Now, before we go, we're going to talk about key notes before placing a trade on your chart. If you are expected to be able to accurately read and interpret data or data reports in order to place a buy or sell on the chart, you have to focus on high impact news, the ones that have red envelope. You focus on the red envelope, high impact news expected. You focus on high impact news with red folders for best trade. The volatility is dependent on other economic conditions. Most times you will see a high impact news come out, but it will not be as volatile as you expected because 100% of the time, it is not always only on that high impact news. Other economic conditions have to also be put into consideration. Okay? If the actual is greater than forecasted report, it may not positively have impact on the currency if there are some underlying political sanctions, conflicts from the country. Let me give you an example. A news can come out now, like this thing can come out now, and it comes out good for this particular instrument, euro. It comes out green for euro, and it's a high impact news. Actual is greater than forecast, but you will realize that it's not favoring this particular euro. Why? Because maybe there is a sanction on this particular instrument. Maybe there is a war on this particular zone, and that's why it is not affecting it positively the way it is meant to affect it positively. So these are the things that you're also going to put into consideration. Okay. Now, if you want to trade news, you have to trade at the exact moment the news is being released. See, if news is being released by 1:30, 1:30 you are before 1:30 you're already on your trade. So it's either you're doing buy stop sell stop before that 1:30, so that once the news starts it will pick you up on that trade and take you to the destination you want it to. or the destination the news wants to take you to. Okay, so you have to trade at the exact moment the news is being released. Most times, volatility do not last long in the market. And after volatility in the market, there is what we call retracement in the market. Okay, so you can use technical analysis knowledge to define your risk to reward ratios. You can use the knowledge you have about your technical analysis to define your risk to reward ratios. Okay, so if you see that every time price gets to price 5, it goes up, price gets to price 5, it goes up, it will be wise for you to want to enter at price 5, right? And then your stop loss will be below 5 because you're on a buy. When we get to technical analysis, you are going to understand it. Now, when you notice that volatility is over, close your trade and move on. Please, oh, do not open a trade, right? Do not open a trade. Do not go to your chart and see that the news is coming out by 1:30, and then by 1:40 you are still trying to go and trade that news. My two hands no deal. My two hands no day. If you're not entering it at 1:30 or even before 1:30, 1:29, 1:28, 1:20, 1:15, I know they follow you. Oh. And if you're even going to enter it earlier on, there are strategies on ways to open that trade so that it will not touch your entry point before the said time. Do you understand? Don't worry, all these things we are going to see them on technicals, because on technicals we're now going to go to our chart and explain most of these stuffs. All right. So that will bring us to the end of today's class. If we have questions, you can ask questions, and please, you're going to give me my assignment. I'm very, very serious. My assignment, we are going to get it. And in our next class, we are going to start from technical analysis. We will do a touch up of all these things that we did today, and then we will now start from technical analysis in our next class. And the next class is going to be tomorrow around 3 p.m. That next class is going to be tomorrow around 3 p.m. Okay, so if you have questions, I am waiting. You can drop your questions. You can ask your questions. If there's something you do not understand, you can ask your questions, please. We don't have questions, so it's understandable. We don't have questions. Okay, no problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that this recording is available to everyone so that you can always go through it at your leisure. And please don't forget my assignment. All right? All right. Take care of yourself, everybody, and do have a wonderful day.
You share the recording. Oh.
All right. I will share the recording. I will definitely do that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Take care.
All right, take care there.
Yeah.
Thank you.